The hottest topic in 2021 real estate is the appraisal. The appraisal could potentially kill an otherwise great transaction that buyer and seller are completely happy with. So whether you're considering either buying or selling a home in 2021, you gotta check out this video. I've released the 8 things that you need to know about the appraisal process before you either buy or sell. Hi, my name is Kevin Grolig. I'm a real estate agent with Compass located in Potomac, Maryland. And thanks once again for checking out the latest video in a series, Real Kevin. So today I want to discuss the 8 things that you need to know about the appraisal process before you either buy or sell. So let's start with, in most cases, when a home is being financed, the bank is going to require an appraisal to be performed on the property. So while there may be an agreement in place between the buyer and seller to purchase for the price of X, don't just expect that the buyer's lender is going to go along for the ride. So while there may be an agreement between the buyer and seller on the price, don't necessarily expect that the buyer's lender is going to be okay with it. While the buyer may be putting 10, 20, or maybe even 30% down, the bank's lender is going to be putting down 70, 80, or maybe 90% down. So let's just say they have a say. In the end, it reverts back to the golden rule. We all know what the golden rule is. He who has the gold makes the rules. The difficulty we find with appraisals in today's market is due simply to the surging home values. Home sellers and buyers and real estate agents are dealing with the here and now, and the bank appraiser is predominantly dealing with the past. This is where the problem lies. We're looking forward, and they're looking back. In many cases, homes are selling 10 to 15% above where they were at the beginning of the year. So supporting the value of the property to the bank and the bank's appraiser can be difficult in this market. Here's a list of 8 things that most people do not know about the appraisal process. Number 1, the appraiser is a neutral party. He or she is not chosen by the seller, the buyer, the real estate agents, or the mortgage lender. So what this means to you as the buyer is you have no worries about the seller hiring old cousin Earl to do the appraisal. And if you're the seller, you don't have to worry about the buyer hiring cheap old Aunt Tilly to come out to appraise your home. Once again, the appraisal will be performed by a neutral party. This leads to number 2. How is the appraiser chosen? We've determined that the appraiser is not determined by the buyer, seller, realtors, or mortgage lender. So, how are they chosen? Today, the mortgage lender must send an order to an appraisal management company, otherwise known as an AMC. So, this AMC may have as many as 10 to 20 appraisers approved to appraise the property within a certain zip code. Once the order is sent out, it falls into the lap of the next appraiser in line. This appraiser has the opportunity to either take it or pass on it. In the event that he or she would pass on it, it would go to the next appraiser, once again, that's in line. What's important to realize is there is no connection between the lender and the appraiser. It goes from lender to AMC to appraiser with a break between the appraiser and the lender. This is very different from the boom markets of the early 2000s where a mortgage lender could simply pick up the phone and call their friend, their buddy, the appraiser, and have him or her out there the next day. Today's appraisals truly are independent. Number 3, what comparable home sales will an appraiser consider? Appraisers are mostly concerned with finding like-kind homes to yours. Like-kind homes doesn't mean they have to be the same builder, the same floor plans, or the same style. However, they should be somewhat similar when it comes to square footage. So it is possible that an appraiser could use different style homes, like let's say the subject property is a colonial. In some cases, they may use a split level, they could use a ranch as well, and make adjustments for them either way. Number 4, how many past sales are needed? Appraisers will need to use at least 3 recent home sales to complete their appraisal. One recent low home sale in your community doesn't mean all doom and gloom. Conversely, one high sale in your neighborhood doesn't necessarily give you the green light. Ultimately, there's going to be at least 3 home sales used, and things are going to be balanced out and adjusted and compared to the subject property. Number 5. How far back in time will an appraiser search? Typically, appraisers go back no further than about 6 months when finding comparable sales. However, in this hot market, the newer the sale, the better. Number 6, where do the appraisers search for comparable sales? In larger communities of 1,000 homes or more, oftentimes the appraisers do not need to go outside the community to find good, fresh, and relevant data. For smaller communities or more rural areas, it's not uncommon for an appraiser to search by radius. With smaller communities in the suburbs, an appraiser might go out a mile or 2 radius from the subject property to obtain data. So while using the radius approach, it's usually best that you stay within the same city, you stay within the same county, of course. Going from Rockville to Bethesda, while that might be within a certain radius, probably is not going to fly with the bank's appraiser. Number 7, do home improvements matter? The answer is yes, they do. However, don't expect that you're necessarily going to get dollar for dollar on the investment you put into the improvement. This is a good reason why a home seller should always provide the appraiser a list of home improvements at the time the appraisal is performed. The list of improvements should have an itemization of the date the improvement was made, what the improvement was, and the cost of the improvement. Believe me, appraisers like this. And finally, number 8, does lot size matter? There's no question that lot size is a determining factor. However, the quality and usability of the lot actually is more important than the size itself. What I mean by this is a 1/4 acre lot that's level with a walkout basement that's on a cul-de-sac and backs to trees is probably going to be worth more than a 1/2 acre lot that is on a busy street and slopes away and drops off like a cliff. So while the lot size does matter, it's really more about the usability and the demand that this lot would bring. So there you have it, the 8 things that you need to know about the appraisal process before you either buy or sell a home. It should be noted that when selling a home, a good realtor should show up and meet the appraiser the day of the appraisal. I like to draw a comparison to it being a good attorney who shows up and advocates for you in court. Your realtor should provide a very compelling case for why this home is worth every cent that you sold it for. This package should include things like copy of the sales contract, potentially any copies of competing offers to show that there was a lot of demand for the property, any floor plans, lot plats, HOA information as well. Oh yeah, and the very best comparable sales that support your sales price. For more information on how to avoid problems in the event of a low appraisal, check out this video here. So what do you think about today's video? If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, place a comment, or share this video. If you have any questions about buying or selling real estate, you can contact me directly at 240-793-7495. Hey, thanks once again for checking out the latest video in a series, Real Kevin. See you next Wednesday.